Hello dear readers and subscribers. In today's video we're going to talk about the number one reason why abstract paintings fail before putting a single mark on the canvas. We're going to explain why some pictures make it to art galleries, into museums and become renowned abstract painters, and others are seen as hobby painters, hobby artists. At the end of this video I have a little surprise as our CAI team is expanding. With abstract art, the common perception in public opinion is that it is something very subjective. What is the difference between a Cy Twombly painting, a masterpiece, and a toddler scribbling around on canvas? Some people think that there is no difference. I strongly disagree with this, and this has been proven over and over again, because there is a common ground for quality, for what good abstract painting is, and you can sense it, you can feel it. In a Belgian talk show, Sophie van der Velde, who is a gallery director of Sophie van der Velde Gallery, which is a great gallery with a great program, I highly recommend checking the gallery out. She was invited and she was put on the spot to distinguish art or a work by a child. And she was shown abstract pieces and she had to say if the artwork was an artwork by a famous artist or by a toddler or by a child. And the truth is, she got full marks. The intention was, of course, to test if she could see the difference, because very often people think that there is no difference. So there is a clear distinction how a seasoned gallery director like Sophie van der Velde or a seasoned collector can instantly see if the artist is a serious, renowned, established artist or a hobby painter. But what is the root of this distinction? If we walk into a gallery space and if we would have on one wall a painting by a hobby painter, as there are so many abstract paintings that are currently for sale on Saatchi Art, for instance, where they have over 1 million of paintings available, most often from artists who are struggling to make it into the gallery circuit. And on the other wall, we have a painting by an established artist. Instantly, we will see that the painting by the established artist will demand respect. It will have a certain high-end quality to it. It will look luxurious, expensive, whereas the painting by the hobby painter will seem a bit familiar, stock, and most often unoriginal. The main reason why there is this distinction all starts with the material attributes of the artwork, of the abstract painting. Hobby painters today, or abstract painters who are failing to make a mark, who are failing to distinguish themselves or to find their style or to stand out from the bulk of hobby painters, it is because they start with art supplies straight out of the art supply store. They use the same stock materials as millions of other hobby painters are doing. Whereas, on the other hand, if you have a look at the successful abstract painters today, they always do something different, and it all starts with using different materials. They go to a hardware store instead, to an art supply store. They create their own canvases. They stretch them themselves, or they create their own panels, or they use a different surface, a different cotton, or even they use a rug instead of a canvas which comes out of plastic foil and is pre-stretched and is being mass-produced. First will feel original, unique, handmade. The other will feel mass-produced, a bit cheap and lightweight. Before you have even picked up a brush or selected your paint, your medium, you're already destined to fail. Even worse, this can be a common flex on Instagram, where they show that they are kind of professional by unwrapping the pre-stretched canvas. However, don't do it. Try to start with something unique, genuine, personal, instead of something that is being mass-produced and stock. You will feel it with the end result. Up next, the paint itself. If you use paint, most often I believe 95% of abstract painters today use acrylic paint because it is very convenient due to the drying time, that you can use water instead of turpentine. However, they also use it straight out of the tube without making any interventions. And they think it is alright because the paint was quite expensive, because paint is expensive in general. However, if you use it straight out of the tube, it will have that very recognizable stock plastic feel to it. It will look the same as if a toddler would have an art class. They would also use paint straight out of the tube, and this will result in work that looks very similar. So if 95% of the artists are working on the same surface with the same materials in the same manner, whatever they paint, it will all look very similar, and it becomes a lot harder to find something that's actually interesting that you can explore further. So don't use paint straight out of the tube. Make it more transparent, make it more lucid, make it more matte. Use gel, use some kitchen materials to create your own substance of paint, and use it as a starting point to explore its possibilities and limitations. This in itself can be the foundation of your artist statement. However, if you do not explore anything when it comes to the surface and the medium, then it becomes very, very tricky. Once more, learning from the masters here is crucial. If you have a look at the abstract masters, you'll notice that the transparency of their paint is always a little bit different than anybody else's. It immediately stands out, it feels different, it's something that we haven't seen before. It has more tactility, more materiality, etc. Don't create art that is stock. Create art that is original, that feels genuine and personal instead of mass-produced. Over the years, I have been advising a tremendous amount of artists, thanks to the CAI YouTube channel, and thank you for everyone who has used one of our consultation sessions or templates that we have available on the website. And with abstract painters, this was the most common mistake most artists were making. However, it is a very subtle one, and if you're not aware of it, or when you're not visiting art galleries and seeing it in the flesh, or not paying attention to it, then it is very difficult, of course, to escape from this mistake. It's almost inevitable to happen. If you're in it to have fun, of course, go for what is convenient. If you're in it to make good art, to make great art, to make art that will be successful, then go the extra mile. Do something different. Think out of the box. Experiment. And also allow yourself the time to experiment, to make some mistakes, some sloppy experiments, but pursue something that's worth pursuing instead of pursuing mediocrity. The worst thing is making a painting that is almost good. We already have Perrier, who is my assistant director. However, I have a new assistant, and I'm very pleased to introduce her. And here she is, our newest assistant director, Jan Delagrange. I would like to wish you all from our little family a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Looking forward to see you in 2024 and wishing you lots of joy. Cheers.